I'm Sarah from Everyday Starlet. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to do another makeup wardrobe video. I'll link my others below. I go into all kinds of detail about what exactly I'm doing with this series. It's basically kind of like my makeup collection, only instead of just being like, here's all the makeup that I have, I'm actually going to be explaining what the average person needs in their makeup collection, like the bare minimum basics for people who want to have a sort of beginner's makeup collection, I'll say. Beginner to intermediate makeup collection. We'll put it that way. So today we're going to do blushes, not only because I have a blushed nudes eye look going on, which actually just filmed the tutorial for this look. This will be coming up next week, so be sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. So today we're going to talk blush on your cheeks. I'm blushing, really. I actually do blush naturally, like my face gets very red very easily. Not even if I'm embarrassed, which I'm embarrassed a lot, but not even if I'm embarrassed, just my cheeks, they blush. I got red cheeks. What can I say? Red rosy cheeks. So I'm gonna get into my blushes. I don't have a huge, okay, I have kind of a big blush collection. It's not enormous though. See where to begin. To find your ideal blush color, typically you want to go with, again, the color that your cheeks are when you blush, or when your cheeks are naturally flush, or, you know, maybe you've been working out or something, like that natural color. So if you tend to get like pink, then you want to go with a pinkier toned blush. If you tend to get more of like a peaches and cream kind of look, then you want to go for something that's a little bit more peachy or coral. I kind of personally think that everybody should have a kind of pinker blush and everyone should have kind of a peachier blush, just because I feel like some makeup looks you want to go pink, other makeup looks you want to go peach. To me, that's the gist of it. I don't really think that you need a lot of others. I've seen a lot of other shades. I've also seen some like nudes and browns, but I'm actually going to get into that more when I go through bronzers. So I'm basically going to talk about your peaches and your pinks. I've seen purples. Like, you can totally get into like all kinds of crazy colors with blush, but I think for the most part, like a good pink and a good peach for your skin tone, probably all you're gonna need. Now, whether or not you want to go with a cream, a liquid, or a powder, I think totally depends on you. For most people, I would say a powdered blush is probably the way to go. If you have drier skin and you feel like powder is just too cakey on you, you might want to go with a cream or a liquid. But I'm just gonna jump in here. I have one Tarte, my Tarte Amazonian Clay 24-hour blush, which I love. I really should get more. I heard about the shade Tipsy. It seemed like it was all over YouTube, so I tried it. It looks really bright. It does not look this bright on the cheeks. It's a coralier color, which I was a little afraid of when I initially bought it, because I didn't kind of jump on the coral peach bandwagon. I was like, only give me pink blushes because my cheeks are pink. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give this a try, and I actually really like it. I don't use it quite as much because I have some other peaches that I've been using more. But again, don't be intimidated by a shade like this, because you want to swatch it, try it out. It does not show up on the skin this bright. I love the formula and I feel like I really should get more, but if you are looking for a non-intimidating coral, this might be one that you want to try. I also have a few drugstore. I have the Essence Silky Touch blush in Babydoll. I think I've only used this once. I liked it. I don't know. It's a pink, but it looks kind of mauve-y in the container. It's pretty inexpensive. I heard about this from, I think I saw it on Kathleen Light's channel. I think she recommended it, so I was like, I'll give it a try. She always looks awesome. I like it, but I think I've only used it once. But if you want to get like kind of a mauve-y pink blush, I definitely think this is a good option for you. It was inexpensive. I think I got it at Ulta. I also picked up, which I haven't tried yet, and I'll be honest, I bought it because of the name. It is the Physicians Formula blush in Blondes. Obviously, picked it up for the name. I haven't actually worn it yet, but it looks like it's definitely a pink, but it looks like it has a little bit of a shimmer. I think if you're really into highlighters and you really want highlights, then go for a highlighted blush. But if you just want to go for the basics, the bare minimum, I would get a blush that doesn't have a highlighter or shimmer in it, because then you can always add a highlighter over it, but you have the option to go matte. if that makes any sense. But this one does have a shimmer in it. It looks pink. It looks very pink. So if you want like a very, very pink color, I think because this is called blondes, I think this is meant for very fair-skinned, probably cool-toned blondes would be my guess. So it has have a lot of shimmer in it. Although it doesn't swatch all that dark, but it is very pale. So I would only try this if you're super pale. Now my biggest collection of blushes are definitely Milani. Probably should be no surprise to you. I have two of they're just plain powder blushes, which are so pretty. They're in this beautiful, like, I mean, rose. Like, I almost don't even want to use them because they're so rosy. I don't like them quite as much as their baked blushes, which I'll get to in a minute. I would say of the two shades that I have, the Tea Rose is probably my favorite. And I didn't really have like a tea rose blush. I had like pinks and peaches, but I wanted something that was like a distinctly rose blush, and I was like, it's in the shape of a rose. How can I go wrong? I like this, but it's very pigmented, so I have to go with a very light hand because, again, because I get red and flushed in the cheeks so easily, I go very light-handed when it comes to blushes because it can very easily, like, I put a lot of blush on and then all of a sudden, like, my cheeks get red and I'm like, I'm terrifying people because they're like, oh my god, you're red. I also have Coral Cove because I heard people raving about this, so I was like, I have to get it. It's a little bit too bright a coral for me personally, but if you have, like, maybe a warmer toned skin that is maybe slightly darker, not dark necessarily, although I think probably if you have a warmer tone that's a darker skin, you could get away with it. But if you're super fair and cool tone, this might be a little bit too bright for you, but it is so pretty. So, I mean, I'm a sucker for good packaging, what can I say? I have a collection of Milani baked blushes. I don't have them all. I'm gonna start with the lightest. All right, I bought Luminoso because everybody raved about it. I'm not in love with it. For me personally, I've seen it on other people, it's gorgeous. For me personally, it's a little bit too yellow for me. I feel like it washes me out a little bit. Now, if you have a warmer skin tone, maybe yellow undertones in your skin, a peaches and cream complexion, I could see this being absolutely gorgeous on you. For me, someone who has much more pinks to their skin, I don't know. I mean, I might give it another try eventually. It just, and I think I probably would use this as a highlighter more than I would an actual blush. It was too yellow for my skin. So the blush that I probably used exclusively for the majority of the last few years is the Milani Baked Blush in Delicioso Pink. And if you are like an OG subscriber to my channel's not that old, but if you have been with me since the beginning, you know, my early makeup tutorials, this was pretty much all I used because this was what I had, and it really goes well with my skin. It looks very bright. I do go in with a very light hand because it can be a brighter blush, but if you have cooler tones to your skin and you go in with a light hand, this could be like a perfect blush shade for you. If you want pink, like if you want a pink blush that is matte, I definitely would recommend this. Now for my shimmers, I have two here. I'm going to start with the darker one here is Rose D'Orio. A lot of people rave about this. They think it is the greatest thing in the world. It's pretty, but again, it's got gold flecks in it, which is, I'm not hating on the gold flecks, let me tell you. But this is a little too dark for me personally, for my skin tone. But again, if you have darker complexion, I don't know if you necessarily would have to only have a warm complexion, but I feel like if you have anything from like a tan or darker skin, this could be really pretty on you, but this is just a little bit too dark for me, for my fair skin. I would say my current favorite, it's what I have on right now. And if you want a shimmery blush, this is a great option because I feel like it could work for warm or cool tones. It is the Dolce Pink. It is a pink, but so it's most definitely in the cool tone family, but the shimmer flecks in it are, I don't know if I wouldn't say they're straight up gold. They might be a little bit more champagne-y, so I feel like if you have a warmer complexion, this could work for you too. And I also feel like when I put it on, I mean, I wasn't all that careful when I put it on today, and it didn't like just, you know, like show up bright. Like I feel like it's just pigmented enough for a blush, not too pigmented. I think if you want a shimmery blush that's going to work on the majority of skin tones, if you want something that's going to work on you when you're maybe fair in the wintertime and you are maybe a little bit tan in the summertime, and you're okay with a shimmer in your blush, then I think this is a great option. Now, transitioning kind of from my powder blushes, these are still powder blushes, but they're starting to transition into the cream blush category. They are my Clinique Cheek Pop blushes. I have 3 shades. I've actually been tempted to get all of them, but then I had to be like, all right, calm down. You don't need all of them. The initial one that I fell in love with was the Clinique Cheek Pop in Plum Pop. I was afraid that this was going to be too dark for me, but I'm glad I went with this because I feel like I like this. It's similar to the Milani Delicioso pink, but it's not quite as bright. It's a little bit more natural. And the thing about the Clinique formulas is that they're a very creamy powder. So they most definitely are a powder blush, but they have a creamier consistency. So if your skin is a little bit drier and you're afraid that a powder blush is going to be too chalky on you, these are really great for that. Like if you don't want to go into a cream blush, you still want a powder, but you're not in love with powders, give these a try because I feel like these are a good in-between blush situation. I really like the Plum Pop for my cheeks when I want to go with a cooler makeup look or, you know, I just want something very natural. I also have, and I haven't really used it because I'm afraid it's going to be a little bit too bright, but it's Peach Pop. This one hasn't really been touched as much. You can tell it's a beautiful flower. Like it's kind of like along the same lines as like the Milani with the rose. It's like something about blushes in rose prints, or they're not prints, but indentations, whatever. I haven't actually used this shade yet because I bought this the same time I bought the one I'm going to mention now, and I love the other one more, so I think this, I don't know if this might be bright. I haven't really tried this, so I'm not really sure, but I bought, at the same time I bought that, I bought the Cheek Pop in Melon Pop, and this I am in love with. This to me is like the ideal if I want to go for a warmer makeup look, but again, I'm cool toned, but I want to go with something a little bit warmer, and I don't want to go with like a pink because I want my skin to have a little bit more warmth to it. The Melon Pop is the way I go, because I think it's light enough so that it doesn't read too coral or too orange on me, but it's just enough. If I'm going for a cooler makeup look, I go with more like the Plum Pop. If I'm going for a warmer makeup look, maybe a bronzy kind of a look, or, you know, gold, just I want my face to feel warmer, I go with the Melon Pop. Okay, now I'm going to transition away from powders. Those were kind of my favorite. Powder blushes are my favorite. I do have some other types. I have some of the Clinique Chubby Stick, what are they? Chubby Stick Cheek Color Balm. And I think you can also use these like on your lips, or you can do other things. I bought some of these to give them a try. I kind of just like tested them. Don't put them on over your like powder. Like they will cake right up, let me tell you. I bought these in a couple shades, and I haven't actually used these with a makeup look yet because hard for me to get motivated to use cream blushes. So I do have a couple of these, but I haven't really given them a fair chance yet. So I'm not necessarily going to say these are the here all end all, but I did want to just show you some cream blushes. Another product I haven't tried, but I wanted to give it a shout out. I bought these when Stila was having a huge sale, so I got like a major discount on them, but I haven't used them yet. They're more of like a liquid blush. These are the Stila Aqua Glow Watercolor Blush. I heard a lot of good things about them. Again, I haven't tried them just because I forget to wear them because you put them on at an odd time. I'm used to doing blush like towards the end of my makeup look, and you have to put these on so early on that I always forget to use them. But I have some the shades are really pretty. I've heard really good things about them. So if you're looking to try out a liquid blush, they look really, really pretty. I don't know if you can see that. That was a terrible place to swatch this, but that shade was Water Lily. I also have Shimmering Lotus and Water Poppy. It looks bright. I don't know. Okay. It blends in really nice, actually. All right, maybe I'll give these a try. It's kind of scared me when I first put it on, but it actually blended out, so you can hardly even, actually just gave a nice shimmer, so okay. I'll give these a try. If you guys want me to try these out, maybe do a makeup look or review of these or something, then I definitely will. But I just kind of wanted to throw these out if you guys wanted a liquid blush option. But to be honest, I pretty much always use the powders. That's pretty much what I have. If you guys have any favorite blushes, I would love to hear from you, so be sure to leave them in the comment section below. To sum up, I mean, basically, pick your formula of the blush that you want if you want to go with the bare minimum. And I would get a warmer blush, maybe some kind of a coral or peach, depending on how dark or light your skin tone is. And I would get a cooler blush, some kind of a pink, again, dark or light depending on your skin tone, and I would say that's going to take you through just about any makeup look that you want to do. So if you have any questions or comment suggestions, any blushes you love, please leave them in the comment section below. Be sure you give this video a thumbs up, especially if you enjoyed it. I have a makeup tutorial coming up next week on this makeup look, so be sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. You can also follow me on social media. All my links will be below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you join me next time.